It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
Hold on. There we go. The Pete Sousa Show. We are live in full effect. Pete Sousa with Scotty Swingler. Of course, we are presented by Slovacics of West. Our guy Ray out there taking good care of us and taking good care of you if you pop off of 35 and hop on and check out what's going on at Slovacics of West. I always say low-key sporting goods in there too, okay? Don't forget about that. You can get your Big 12 school, even if you like Texas and the SEC. We're so on them. But they got garb in there for you, but just stick to the kolaches if you really want to have a good time. Okay, it's a home run situation. Also, Sikora Family Ford, we are so pumped to extend our agreement and relationship with them coming up soon. We'll announce it officially, but again, I always say if you're in the market for a car and you don't want to get accosted, right? I have good friends who just almost got a car in the North Texas area. They had a terrible experience, right? you're not going to have that experience at Sequoia Family Ford. You may walk out of there and decide differently, and they're going to let you because they're normal, okay? But they also have an amazing selection of cars. You step on the showroom floor, and you just feel like, okay, this is a fresh situation. I trust these people, and they got a great selection of cars. Of course, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, right? We display them prominently right there with the mug. And everybody else who's a part of this joyride. We are having a real good time here. A lot to get to today. We're going to look into Scott Drew's first comments about the Rob Wright departure. Also going to take a look at Jason Kidd and the possibility of him coaching the New York Knicks and the Knicks situation and whether they overplayed their hand like they always do. Very possible. We're also going to talk to Murph Barton, Mike Barton Jr. officially, about the U.S. Open. The fans have spoken. That's you, by the way. I don't even know if we'd say fans, just, part of the Pete Sousa Show family here. And you love Murph. And I love Murph, of course, personally. And the guy's pretty good on air, too. He knows his golf. And we're going to talk about the U.S. Open. And outside of painting a picture for you on the tournament, we are going to give you some winners, baby. And that's what it's all about, right? Let's go. We'll wet your beak a little bit. Getting ready for the U.S. Open taking place in Oakmont, which is a tough place to play some golf. Not that I would know from experience, but Murph will tell us all about that. Man, one thing about human beings, I just want to just throw this out. We are barnyard animals. If you think you're not a barnyard animal, you're wrong. And the reason I say that is because I went first time in, I don't know how long, because of the way things lined up. I came home from the vacation and I was far away. So it was like an 8-hour flight coming back from Hawaii overnight. So I guess the last time I showered before this morning was, I don't know, Monday afternoon or Monday evening, right? And so I showered this morning and I really felt like I was a zoo animal, just like getting, it's amazing. We are animals, dude. And if you don't take a shower for a little bit and then you do, you are reminded of that. So hoping that none of you have to get even close to that experience. But man, I didn't sleep at all coming into yesterday's show. I slept maybe 10 minutes the night before because I was on a plane. So yesterday I was just in and out of sleep and got a great night's sleep coming into today. And that was cool that there was, no NBA finals on. But the finals are back in action tonight. The Indiana Pacers a 5.5-point underdog at home. They have got to get the win. And we'll check in with Scotty and talk a little Tyrese Halliburton here later in the show. And Scotty is primed and ready to go. But I want to start close to home with Baylor. And we have not heard publicly yet, at least, from Scott Drew. We've heard rumor mill stuff, and, everybody has an opinion of their own. But yesterday, Scott talked to the media, about the offseason, and it was pretty cool, too. When you look, Baylor, it was 2 months ago, or maybe a month and a half, that our own Cam Stewart put out an Instagram post or a tweet that went viral about the fact that Baylor had 0 players returning from last year's roster. Well, now the roster's filled out, and it looks really healthy, and the heartbeat of that team is always Scott Drew. Here he was yesterday talking about maybe being left at the altar or jilted at the altar by Rob Wright, who is expected to come back and play for Baylor this year, but of course has departed for BYU. Let's take a listen.
When I say you expect it, people are going to leave. Rob obviously was someone we had an agreement with. So when you make an agreement, you think you're done. And obviously that was a surprise to us. But again, staff did a great job in putting together a roster and team. And that's part of hopefully the house settlement. You get to a point where who's on your team, and when they're locked in, so that you can build a team.
Well, I'm surprised at those comments, and here's why. Scott Drew, who is forever, and for very good reason, because of his beliefs spiritually and who he is as a guy, mostly because of that, is a constant passenger or driver on the high road of life. That was... we're going into the low road real quick. Oh, hold on, Scotty. You can weigh in on that. Let me give my take first. Once again, we go back. I am surprised that Scott Drew, who I love and have covered since I've been here, and more specifically hands-on calling games for ESPN and getting to know him a little bit, an amazing dude right? But it's clear that there's still a little bit of trauma around the Baylor basketball program from Rob Wright leaving and the way that he left 2 months ago to go to BYU. Now, maybe that was Scott finally publicly issuing his feelings on that. I mean, but again, we heard him talk about, and Scotty, can we play it one more time? I want you guys to listen about when he says, when you have an agreement. This is the part that I'm talking about, as now we completely psychoanalyzed a throwaway comment yesterday by Scott Drew, which is always fun in this business. Let's take another listen.
When I say you expect it, you know people are going to leave. Rob obviously was someone we had an agreement with, so when you make an agreement, you think you're done, and obviously that was a surprise to us. But again, staff did a great job in putting together a roster and team. And
so he basically is like, look, Rob screwed us over. And he's like very emphatic about saying that. And in a way, and again, you're not going to hear me come down on Scott Drew, and these are drive-by comments by him that I'm deep diving into. I always feel like I have to preface this stuff, because if I don't, people will twist your words around, and they still can, but who cares? Nobody cares enough to really twist my words around anyways. But it seems like he's still a little pissed about that, and it seems like he's not being totally accountable, and here's what I mean. There's an accountability that comes with you're getting paid so much money. This is the state of college athletics right now. It is terrible, right? But this is how it goes. And even though and we are living in a world where an agreement isn't an agreement. And hopefully the House settlement will clean some of that up. And hopefully, although it seems like a little bit of a long shot, hopefully the government will get involved, right? And we will have rules instituted where something like that can't happen, right? But I let's bring in Scotty, because clearly, although some of the thoughts on this show are certainly queer.
I love Scott Drew very much, but not in that way.
Yeah, exactly. But we're close because we do love him that much. But so, what are your thoughts on that comment? And do you understand at all when I'm saying how I'm surprised to hear someone of Scott's ilk that always takes the high road, look in the rearview mirror and still bring up that we had an agreement and we got screwed over? I'm surprised. That's not his style.
All right. Your reaction to this just speaks to how clean Scott Drew's hands have been for 20 plus years at the helm of Baylor basketball. Because if you just listen to what he said, he did not disparage the kid.
No.
He did not bring up his father. He did not disparage BYU. He acknowledged what has been reported for months. We've known for months that Rob Wright had signed an NIL deal to stay at Baylor and left to take a bigger one at BYU pretty late in the transfer portal process. This is public information. So in my mind, Scott Drew did not tear down the kid, did not tear down another program, did not tear down his family. I don't even think really tore down his decision. I didn't hear any tearing down of Rob Wright. I heard him acknowledge.
I did.
Okay.
He said we had an agreement, and when you think you have an agreement, you're done. He basically said he said
you are interpreting that as him saying Rob screwed us.
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
I did.
I heard fact. I heard something that has been reported by many.
Yeah.
That he is simply acknowledging is true. And he is articulating his hope that with the House settlement, and we talked about this on this show.
Yeah.
In football and basketball. With the House settlement, when you sign a deal with a school, you are bound to it. I don't think he said anything negative about Rob, and I don't think he said anything that any college basketball coach won't agree with.
No,
the fact that him just saying that factual information, doing so in a pretty non-emotive way, by the way, I didn't hear venom in his voice.
No.
And doing so without disparaging the kid tells you what kind of character Scott Drew has, that your reaction to that was, he's talking bad about Rob.
Now that is your overarching point, which I definitely receive, and you are 1,000% right about.
Yeah.
Talk about nitpicking, right? I mean, seriously,
yeah.
Scott Drew has been that amazing of a man and a coach that's the most meat on the bone he'll give you as far as him being a little, maybe you could say, and you could argue that he doesn't have any, but I would say there is a sliver of resentment there that still remains. And it's like, hey, we got screwed by this kid.
But
we made an agreement.
So even if,
and maybe his family, I mean, I think if Scott, you got him in a room one-on-one and truth serum, he'd say Rob's dad was behind all of this and screwed us over.
Well, that's what Ashley said.
Yeah, Ashley Hodge.
And
who
we
was
trust
the man.
Ashley
We
Hodge
trust
reporting
Ashley
at,
big
at
time.
Sikkim 365.
Yeah.
But here's what I would say. Even if we say Scott Drew made that comment 100% just to take one little jab at Rob Wright.
Yeah.
Do we really blame him at all for feeling that way?
No, we don't. Especially
we can all understand being in that position. You're starting to build a roster around this guy as the centerpiece because he has signed something.
Yeah.
And then he leaves after, again, and this has been reported publicly and said by others, after lots of the top tier point guards that you could have gotten to Baylor committed elsewhere.
Yeah, the timing was terrible.
I mean,
the timing was terrible.
So again, not to disparage the kid, but we all agree the process in which that played out was very unfortunate.
Yeah,
and probably unfair for the coaching staff.
It was unfair for the coaching staff. But again, I know this in my life. I shouldn't say this, but we always have a little bit of responsibility in everything that goes down in our lives, whether we want to be accountable on that or not. I've learned that through my own process of recovery. And even when something happened last week that I did not like at all, right, in my work orbit, but it happened, and it's not whatever. And I was like, man, it made me overcome with fear. And so for the first time, I was like, for the first time in a while, because I've been kind of rolling, feeling good about stuff, I was like, oh man, now I've got to do what I always tell other people to do: hang in there and trust God. Right. And things are going to work out. You love doing that until it's your turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And to not have resentment as to how things have gone.
Yep.
Right. And things will happen to you in life.
Yep.
Right. As we all know. And again, we are really now micromanaging what Scott Drew said. And it's really ridiculous. But I think that's great. I think that by the way, I don't think that anybody else with a microphone that follows Baylor will go this deep on it. So I think that's fun.
Let me take one more angle at this to try to persuade you that Scott Drew did not say anything wrong in these comments. Knowing Scott Drew the way I know him, which is minimal, but I've observed him in personal situations outside of Baylor basketball. I guarantee you, the week that Rob Wright left, he did respond that way that you just described.
Yeah.
And I almost think him acknowledging this in this first presser right up front now gives him the room, if he's asked later, to say, I've already commented.
Yes, I agree.
So, because he knows, he's been in this game way long enough. It's going to get asked.
Yeah.
It's going to get talked about. We're going to get, when BYU's coming to visit Waco, he's going to get questions about it. And now he can say, hey, I've already addressed that.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to. And so I think the way in which he did it, which is to acknowledge the facts which have been reported, don't disparage the kid, don't disparage the family, don't disparage BYU, communicate some hope for your fan base that, hey, that's why this settlement just got done. Hopefully this doesn't happen in the future.
Yeah.
I think all of those things, he's checked the right boxes.
I agree. And I'm about to say, you're right about something else too. Hold on, let me get them. So the Knicks totally have bungled this situation once again.
Oh my goodness.
Now, when you make a move of that magnitude after your best season in 25 years, okay?
Yep.
And you don't have a plan, which is not the Leon Rose version of the Knicks, right? It is the James Dolan version of the Knicks. And this is rearing its ugly head once again for the New York Knicks, and we're seeing it now. Jason Kidd has got to take that job for the Knicks, in my opinion, for this situation, for them to come out clean on this. Because publicly now, if Kidd doesn't take the job, they've asked to speak to Ime Udoka. No. Rockets say no. They asked to talk to Chris Finch. T-Wolves say no, right? And Jay Wright expressed through a conversation with Leon Rose that was reported by Seth Davis, that was predicted by us here last week, that he had no interest in the job. So now you're about to have gone through whoever is after Finch, right? Let's just say we're doing this, live here, but you're now at least onto your fifth or sixth choice, right?
Right.
After letting go a guy who, if he expresses that he wants to coach in the NBA again, Tom Thibodeau will be one of the first dudes up to get hired
any open job.
for any open job. And
Yep.
again, it comes down to a numbers game at some point too. But he is actually so good that you could see an organization maybe usher somebody out the door with hopes, or probably, right, opposite of what the Knicks are doing, some sort of agreement that, okay, we have a plan in place. You were right about this. That without a plan, a direct plan, to have someone come and at least try to fill the shoes of Thibodeau and take them to that next level. It goes back to like the Pistons with, when they let Rick Carlisle go, who Rick Carlisle has shown us he is an elite coach, a Hall of Fame coach.
Yes.
But 20-some years ago, he had not shown that yet, but he had done a terrific job with the Detroit Pistons. But the Pistons felt like they needed somebody else to get them over that threshold. That person was Larry Brown. Larry Brown did that. But that was pretty well orchestrated by Joe Dumars and by the Pistons at the time, where they had a blueprint in place, right? They knew Larry Brown would take that job. Larry Brown is a slippery dude. He was probably talking to Joe Dumars, I can guarantee it, midway through that last season from Rick Carlisle. So here we are again, though, back to the Knicks with a situation. By the way, you're in trouble. I screenshot this, and this is my favorite. I hope Murph's on the line already to hear this maybe. But
he's not in StreamYard yet.
Okay. But Bleacher Report reported this, right? And this is when you know the Knicks are in trouble. The Knicks reportedly have requested permission to speak to Chris Finch and Ime Udoka regarding the head coaching spot, but were denied by both teams. Per Ian Begley, okay, fine, and Mike Francesa, dude. When Francesa is back in the mix, old school WFAN guy, legendary sports talk guy, has relationships with James Dolan more so than he does with Leon Rose. I can promise you that. Mike and James Dolan have been in bed together for 30 plus years probably. So whether Mike wants to say he heard from James Dolan directly or not, that's fine. He probably did, or somebody very close to him. When Mike Francesa is breaking news around the New York Knicks, that is bad news, because the last time Mike Francesa was breaking a big story about the New York Knicks, it was him and Mad Dog Russo talking about Pat Riley sending a fax to officially resign from the Knicks. And that was in 1990 something. So the Knicks are back to Mike Francesa breaking news about them, which is like the last place you want to be. You've basically jumped in the time machine and are back in the 90s. So I apologize to you and everybody else. The Knicks have screwed this up monumentally. I was wrong.
Zach Burke and I were on this last week. And listen, that was our point last week, right? It wasn't that Tom Thibodeau is absolutely the guy that gets into a finals, but it was
who else is out there? Who are you going to get?
Exactly. And that's what I was saying a couple weeks ago. I forget what brought this up a couple weeks ago when I was hosting the show, but I said it was Tom Thibodeau. I said there are like very few elite basketball coaches in the world. Like, I think that pool is tiny. Like, I think the pool of potentially elite football coaches is actually pretty large.
Yeah.
Basketball coaches, it's different. There are so few that have hit, like, there are so few who've actually won multiple championships. So few.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find that guy.
Yeah.
You're just not.
No.
And Thibodeau left Chicago. What have they done since?
Yeah.
Like
Minnesota, you could say the same thing. I mean, they're
Minnesota's
emerging now,
success,
but that's Anthony Edwards more than anything.
Big time.
I would say.
Big time. So I just think, is Tom Thibodeau ever going to win a finals? I don't know. Is he probably a top 5 coach in the NBA on any given year? Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
He is.
Yeah, he is. And I think maybe you could say, and this is where we talked about it yesterday, and I used the most hyperbolic radioactive example ever, but Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and they're like just their ego war last week. Tom Thibodeau's got an ego. He's probably got a huge ego, even though he's probably a great guy. But when it comes to basketball,
he's an old school coach.
He's an old school coach, and he's a defensive mastermind. But it's like, how much is he going to give up offensively, or his control over the minutes these guys play? You would imagine if those are two things he was not going to give up a lot of control over, that could be a straw that broke the camel's back in New York. Now I'm just totally hypothesizing, right? Because I don't know. And I'm not Mike Francesa, apparently. All right, Murph Barton is the PGA version of Mike Francesa, an old school guy with some new school takes. Apparently, Mike is back in the hot take business too, and we love that. But Murph Barton is going to come up. We're going to give you some winners for the U.S. Open. You're going to want to stay tuned. We'll be back. Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. BizChair.com. Your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kit Bag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kit Bag.
There he is, Mike Barton Jr., better known as Murph Barton, here to talk about the U.S. Open at Oakmont. We're teeing off tomorrow, Murph. You ready?
I'm psyched, man. It's going to be great.
Where are you in your house? You look great.
I'm at my office.
Wow, we should maybe have you do it from there from now on.
Doing it from the headquarters.
Yeah, dude. You do not want to mess with Mobile Lease HQ. We got to make this as succinct and as sound as possible here. It's great to have you, pal.
Yeah.
I got to start.
You too. What are you guys talking about the Knicks? What are you guys talking about the Knicks coach before I got on?
Yeah. Did you Murph? You're gonna love this. The Knicks have gone backwards, and here's how you know: because Mike Francesa is breaking news about their coaching situation. Which you like? When's
That's
Mike
not good.
Francesa had anything legitimate to actually say about anything? And he
Right.
reported that the Rockets and the Timberwolves both denied the Knicks access to their coaches, right?
I saw that.
Mike.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you, Murph? It tells you that James Dolan is now back in control because he's the only guy that will give Mike these scoops, you know? So it's like they're in a
it's not
time
a good
machine
sign.
now. They've gone backwards, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do people
That's
one
not
quick
good.
question for you, for somebody on the main line that's close to Villanova. Was there any movement or talk about Jay Wright actually taking that job for the Knicks?
No.
None.
I don't think
None at all.
anybody thought that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
the
it was
Knicks made a big push for him, but I don't think, from what I hear, he has no interest. I think he's got a good life going, plenty of money. He enjoys doing the TV stuff for NCAA. His wife likes to spend time in Florida. That's what I hear just through the grapevine.
No, that's good. That's good intel. All right, let's get your intel. And this isn't through the grapevine. This is through heavy duty research and experience. U.S. Open at Oakmont tomorrow. Is this Scotty Scheffler's tournament to lose? Let me just give you a piece of context. I don't follow golf like you do. Every time I look up, I'm at a restaurant or I'm in a hotel room or I'm at home and there's golf on. I turn it on and Scotty is blowing away the competition.
He's
like
just
it's crazy.
He's dominating right now. I mean, he's getting close to Tiger levels in the early 2000s. I think he's a plus 250 to win, which I think are the lowest odds since Tiger in like 2001, something like that. I mean, I think this course sets up great for him. It seems impossible watching all the previews. The rough is incredibly hard. The greens are super fast and undulating. You're really going to have to pick your spots. You're going to have to hit fairways and greens and really execute. And that's what Scotty does better than anybody. He's just like a robot. He just executes his plan and it's kind of boring. And then you look up and he's 4 under, you know?
So not only is he white hot right now, but you're telling me this course sets up well for him also.
I think so. He just rarely makes mistakes. You know, he executes his game plan. He doesn't take on more than he can, and he plays it the right way. And I think that's the way everybody's going to be trying to play this week, because I think disaster is around every corner. If you miss fairways, you end up in this rough, you're in big trouble.
I heard you could lose a small kid in the rough, dude. Like you could lose Quinn and Anna in there. Apparently, it's pretty bad.
It looks like it based on these videos, but every year before the Open, you see all these TikToks and Instagram reels where guys are dropping balls in the rough, and you're like, how are these guys? How could you possibly hit the ball out of that rough? And then somebody goes out and lights the course up. You know, I'll be interested to see what the final score for the week is. I think it's going to be like a couple under, 2 or 3 under.
Well, and that's my next question for you. That's my next question. You know, what version of Oakmont are we going to see? Because in 2007, I remember Angel Cabrera won. He was like 5 over. Could we have a winner on the plus side?
Yeah, I mean, I saw an interview with Ben Griffin the other day where he was saying that he would take right now, if you said you can finish the week at +4, he said I'd sign up for that right now. And I think I'm pretty confident I'd have a chance to win.
Okay. When you speak about
Oakmont, I mean, all the guys are talking about how tough this place is. Most people say it's the toughest course in America, especially the way they have it set up.
Do you want to hear a funny story about Oakmont? I figured I'd save this for on the air. I remember when you and I had a piece of a shore house. It was the Thin House down in Avalon. It was like this 3-story house. Obviously, people don't know, where we would just drink and smoke pot all day and go out. We were young. We were young guys before we knew better. So I was up there smoking pot with Steven Buno, right? And he's talking. All of a sudden, Buno goes on this rant. Steven Buno, guys, is a friend of ours, very musical, left of center type guy. I did not know him as like a golf analyst. And Stevie goes on and starts to tell me about Johnny Miller and how he dominated the course at Oakmont.
He did.
Right. Yeah. He's like,
he shot a 63.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there out of my mind, baked with Stephen Buno, and he goes on and it was, I think it was the U.S. Open that Greg Norman blew in '96 or '97. But yeah, Buno goes on this great rant about Oakmont. I was like, wow, Steve,
That's a deep dive.
It's a deep dive. I also, who has not been going deep recently, has been Rory McIlroy with his driver. And that is a superpower of his. I've read and I've seen and heard from guys like you. But he's lost that a little bit. I guess you could say he lost it maybe at the PGA. Is that a concern? Like if I'm ready to bet on Rory McIlroy, am I worried at all about his driver?
I think you have to be. He's really struggled the last couple times out. I think he started the week 8-1, and I think he's gone up to 12-1. So Vegas is concerned as well. It's so hard to say. Everybody seems like they're fading Rory this week. Kind of makes me want to jump in on it. I mean, he bombs the ball, which is going to be a huge advantage here. To hit it out of this rough, you want to be as close to the green as possible. He and Bryson, I think, are going to have a big advantage because of how far they hit their drives. For a guy that's as good as Rory, it's one little swing thought, and he could be right back to being the best driver of the golf ball in the world. But yeah, it's concerning. If he goes out and hits it like he has been the last couple of weeks, he's not going to make the weekend, I don't think.
That's a great point, though, about him being like somewhat of a long shot this week, but still having the skill set to maybe get himself out of trouble or to elude trouble when you talk about how difficult this course is.
Yeah. I mean, he usually comes into these weeks as one of the heavy favorites, and it doesn't feel like he is. I mean, he's still one of the top 5 guys betting odds wise, but people are more likely to fade him this week, where usually he has so many expectations on him. I think he plays with a lot of weight on his shoulders. Maybe this frees him up. Nobody's expecting him to win.
Well, all right, Rory, right? We talked about him. We talked about Scheffler. I think it's concerning the rest of the top 5, right? The rest of the world's top 5. Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Justin Thomas. Where do they fit in? They collectively just have one top 10 finish in these 2 majors so far. Where do those 2 dudes fit in? 3 dudes, sorry, coming into this US.
I mean, I think they're all definitely in contention. Schauffele, the guy has a tremendous track record at U.S. Opens. He's got like an absurd amount of top 15 finishes. He always plays well at U.S. Opens. Difficult golf courses line up well for him. So, I like him this week. Morikawa is just an incredible ball striker, which I think, the best ball strikers are going to have the best success here. He's not super long, but he just puts it in the fairway every time, which it really seems like you're going to have to do this week. And JT, who knows? He's disappointed me so many times in these bets where he comes out and shoots an 80. Like he could win it or he could miss the cut. I have no idea where his game is right now. But when he gets hot, he's as good as.
Out of those 3, betting wise, you like that's a pretty good point you made. So you like Schauffele the best out of those guys coming in?
I think I do, yeah. He always plays these super difficult golf courses well. He's got a tremendous track record at the Open, and if I had to pick one of those 3, he'd be my guy.
What about like Cinderellas, as far as like if there is one that you think that isn't right top 10 right now or top 5 who we've talked about, is there a guy we're not talking about right now that could win people some money this weekend?
I mean, I'm going to go. I think this is one of those events where anybody could win. Not anybody, but of the top 30 golfers, I think anybody could win. I'm going to put some money on Harris English, who's a bit of a long shot. He, in the last 5 U.S. Opens, has 3 top 8s. He won at Torrey Pines, which kind of similar. It's a long golf course with very difficult rough. He's just a steady player, good ball striker. I have a feeling he's going to play well this week. I also like Joaquin Niemann coming off Live. I think he's due to have a really good showing in a major. He's a really good, talented player, hits it a long way, hits it straight. So those are two guys that I think, have a bit longer odds that you could make some money on.
And you see those ESPN betting odds next to Murph
I
and
can,
Scotty,
yeah.
can you take the
I like
Slovakic
Sepp
thing off
Straka
Murph's
too.
head? Huh? We can't take it. All right, let's take that thing down. The thing in the middle. Poor Murph has got Slovacic's bullseye right there. We go. All right, there we go. Scott. How about my main man over here? My partner in crime is. I've told you this. The guy's the best. His name's Scotty Swingler. I mean, and Scotty Scheffler's winning all these tournaments. It's
That's
the best
awesome.
name ever.
It
There
is.
he is.
What's up, Scotty?
Murph, what separates? Because you've kind of alluded to it, and I like this stuff because I don't know, but it's kind of inside golf. Why is the U.S. Open special, and what separates it from the other Grand Slam tournaments?
That's a good question. I mean, it's attainable to anybody. So amateur golfers can enter mid-am events, and if they win enough, they can go and try to qualify for the U.S. Open, which is really cool. I mean, there's a guy, I can't think of his name, but he's a dentist. He's probably the top-ranked amateur in America right now. He's a dentist by day and just a sick golfer, and he's playing in this, which is kind of a cool story. And it's
unless
just
he's your dentist, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, this guy's out playing so much golf. I think I'll go to somebody else.
It's probably tough to get an appointment. And just, I think people enjoy the way they tend to set up the open courses and make them as difficult as possible. So, it's kind of fun to see these guys who shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 under almost every tournament, every round, go out there and struggle. And it's relatable to the average viewer because that's how we play, right? Like we're shanking balls or leaving one in the rough or topping one. You'll actually see that this week because of how difficult this course setup is. And that's a real hallmark of U.S. Opens. They try to make it tough. So I think, whoever wins this week is going to have to maintain the positive attitude and not get down on themselves if they bogey 3 holes in a row.
How about the coverage? It's on the U.S. Open's NBC still, right? Or am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What do you most look forward to this week? Let's see. Where U.S. Open. What do you look forward to for the coverage? But let me see what the U.S. Open. So it's the U.S. Open. It's on NBC. Okay. So think of like the NBC, coverage and stuff like that. Who anybody you like particularly from NBC, from the Golf Network? Because I think the Golf Network and NBC are together. So who do you most look forward to, Murph?
Who's their team?
Huh?
Who's their team? Remind me who their crew. Remind me who their crew is.
Let's see.
Are we on a delay?
I mean, a little bit. It's a little screwed up. Okay, Dan Hicks is great, right? Dan Hicks with Kevin Kistner, Terry Gannon with Brad Faxon. Of course, Tarico will be with Noah Bagley, Steve Sands. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan of those guys. Dan Hicks is awesome. He was actually a good buddy of mine's college roommate. And Kevin Kisner's great personality.
Yeah,
great
that's
addition to the booth.
Yeah, and when the good friend you mentioned, I got to talk to him about, he's buddies with Dan and, of course, Hannah Storm, the amazing ESPN broadcaster. She's probably one of the most legendary broadcasters of all time.
Yeah.
All right, so one more question for you before we let you go. This has been very enlightening once again, Murph. I wish I could keep you here forever. All right, let's do who are you? Who's Murph betting on? What do you got?
I like John Rahm to win this week. He had a great showing in the PGA. I think he ended up coming in second. He kind of faded down the back 9, but I think he seems locked in to me. He definitely has the game to win around a place like Oakmont. And look out for DeChambeau. I mean, he's got 2 U.S. Open wins in the last couple of years. He bombs the ball. He's strong. He can hit it out of the rough. He's a huge fan favorite. They love him at the Open. he's coming in. I would think he's coming in feeling really good about his chances.
All right, Murph, we're always feeling good about you coming on and joining us. And by the way, this is kind of cool because last for the U.S. Open or for the PGA, I got to watch. I had money on Rahm coming down the stretch. And
That
I
was
got
fun.
to show up at your house. Yeah, it was fun. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
I'll be back home again. So I'll see you Sunday, hopefully, and maybe we can root Rahm to another one. Or this
Let's
time
go.
maybe.
I think he's 12-1 again.
All right. I'm going in on Rahm again. And you
Me
fooled
too.
me twice, though. You're out, pal.
Me too. I'm going big on Rahm.
All right, there he is, Murph Barton, joining us
All right,
right
buddy.
now. We appreciate
Later.
it, Murph. See you,
Thanks.
brother. All right, that was good stuff. I love talking to Murph about old school golf as well as getting into the new school stuff too. I'm pumped about the U.S. Open, and I don't know if I'm John Rahm or Scotty Scheffler, but I'll let you know tomorrow before or after, I guess, they tee off. But we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals. Scotty's got to get some stuff off his chest about Tyrese Halliburton, and this is the place to do it. It's a safe space, or could it become hostile? We'll check in on that. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovakics, comes back after the show.
Did you know nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? These news catalysts create trading opportunities every day. All you need is a little help to reach out and take them. It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
OsleyMD.com.
I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
OsleyMD.com.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress. It's like a wearable hug for your nervous system that helps you calm down and feel better. The Apollo wearable will send gentle vibrations to your body, like a song you can feel instead of hear. You feel better, you sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Elevate your experience with Grenco Science, the leaders in cutting-edge vaporizers. Whether you're at home or on the go, our sleek, powerful devices deliver smooth, consistent hits every time. Quality you can trust, innovation you can feel. Grenco Science. Take your vapor game to the next level. Visit us at GrencoScience.com.
It all began with a simple idea, cutting handles off old ski sticks to create better pull-up bars. This sparked the creation of the revolutionary Angles 90 handles. After testing over 70 prototypes with 300 athletes, our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continued to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit angles90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
All right, as we get into our NBA talk, I did see today that VJ Edgecombe is going to be in the green room at the NBA draft. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Which sets up well for him because
he's a top 5 pick no matter how you slice it. So
that'll be a lot of fun. And honestly, I think if his mom is there, she's super awesome from what I've seen so far. And VJ is like really just like the sweetest kid in the world. I think that like that should go over.
It's going to earn him some fans.
Yeah, I think it should go over very, very well. Like for whatever team drafts him, I think that they'll be happy at least from, oh, okay, this is an easy guy to get behind.
Optics, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is being that he was a freshman and he spent such a short time at Baylor, you don't necessarily get to know these guys like you do some guys that stay 4 years. But the little bit we got to know of VJ was awesome. He's just a good dude, and I think like, and that's most Baylor guys, right? Like Jacoby Walter goes to play for the Raptors, and I'm having dinner with my buddy Matt Devlin, who calls Raptors TV, and like guy can't say enough good stuff about Jacoby Walter, and also can't say enough good stuff about Jamal Shed. But we already knew that because he spent 4 years at Houston, so we got to know him a little bit, right?
Yep.
So Jacoby is a great dude too. What are you about to say?
What's the phrase? Something reflects leadership. Why am I forgetting the phrase?
I don't know, but you're screwing us by not remembering.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry. It reflects. Going back to our first conversation today, the character of those guys reflects leadership.
Well,
of Scott Drew in particular.
It does. Hey, what are our guys saying? Anything?
I was gonna say we gotta give some love to.
Let's give some love to
our
Scotty
boys.
B.
Bear the Truth and Scotty B been chiming in on all this stuff. First of all, I agree with Bear the Truth, but I've told you this before. Wearing a Texas Tech shirt on this show while we're talking love for Scott Drew is a little odd.
Hey, look. I'm a Big 12 guy, and I'm also a huge Grant McCaslin guy.
Yes,
and,
fair.
And Grant is, by the way,
tree, baby.
Grant and I share the same fashion taste because one time I was talking to him, this is 2 years ago, before a game, we were at a shoot-around, and he was like, hey, how do you like those collars shirts? It was like this brand. And I was like, wow, Grant McCaslin's asking me about like this shirt? I was like, I love him. And we talked about him for a little bit. And then I had gotten this online, and I've seen Grant wear it since then. Of course, it was probably given to him by somebody at Texas Tech.
Y'all cute.
I think
Twins.
I think Grant has great fashion sense and taste. So and he's talk about an easy guy to root for.
Absolutely.
He's staring down the barrel of winning a national title soon as Texas
Listen,
Tech.
I cannot tell you how much I abhor that two of my very favorite coaches in the world, Joey McGuire and Grant McCaslin, are both at Texas Tech.
That's amazing.
Makes me sick.
By the way,
because I hate Texas Tech, but I love those guys.
What about? Let me ask you this question before we get to Halliburton. Joey McGuire, I don't know if it's on purpose, if it's something he's trying to do, but he's always had an amazing personality. But he's putting it more out there on social media. Have you seen his tweets lately?
I am not on social media hardly at all,
so,
believe it or not.
But you're a Twitter guy, dude.
I am on Twitter, if anything.
Yeah. So he's just he's a little feisty. He's a little.
Well, he's always been a little feisty.
But now he's more like on a public platform on social media. Like he was going after what's our guy T-Rex?
Yeah.
Right. T-Rex was tweeting about the fact that he had a picture because Baylor beat the brakes off of Texas Tech.
Yeah, we did.
In Lubbock last year. So T-Rex tweeted a picture of no fans being at.
Oh, I saw that picture. So I saw that photo.
So in T-Rex, I'm sorry we don't have the picture, but he's got like a monster like outfit on.
Every game he goes to, he wears like this bear head thing, and then it's this this mask.
I'll read Joey's tweet.
It's this mask.
Because I sent it to Scotty, so I know it's right here. I got quick access to it.
Oh, that was Joey?
Yes. That's my point.
Holy crap, dude. I saw that tweet and I laughed at it and I didn't even
No,
notice.
it's not Joey McGuire.
Okay,
it's a fake Joey McGuire.
You got burned. This is why you don't believe anything that's on Twitter. They're all fake accounts, Pete.
Do you know what the name of the account is?
What?
Suck my Dak 4.
That's why I didn't think it was Joey Maguire. My goodness.
Guys, I apologize.
Pete was an old man on Twitter.
I'm a sucker.
Got conned by an Anon account.
I'm a sucker. So now I got to go into this Tyrese Halliburton debate.
Well, hold on, real quick. We're gonna give Bear the Truth and Scotty B one more love, mostly because they agree with me. Good for Scott Drew to call it out. Bear the Truth says they are justified in voicing their opinions. Those are 3 hardcore Baylor guys here, but we all think Scott Drew said what he needs to say, baby.
Okay. Again, I can be persuaded. I will say, and I will die on this little mountain I've made out of a molehill, that Scott Drew is still pissed about that somewhere inside, and we saw it come to the surface, which is very much not like him to show any sort of, I don't know, it just is. In my time, it's just not like him. All right, let's get to Tyrese Halliburton. Tonight, by the way, your superstar and his team are 5.5-point underdogs at home.
He's not my superstar.
Well, whose superstar is he?
He's the Hoosiers' superstar.
All right.
Yeah.
So I got a name for you, and I swear I didn't do like a ton of research. I'm not coming to like get at Scotty and prove him wrong because I think you have a lot of good points. But there's 2 names that come to mind, okay, when you think about people that have made big shots in their careers but aren't superstars.
Okay.
Robert Horry.
Yes.
And Chauncey Billups.
Yep.
Now, you could make an argument for Chauncey. I think he's probably a Hall of Famer. If he's not, I think he...
Surely.
Yeah. But we're talking... Again, the Hall of Fame now has become the Hall of Very Good in most sports. Is it the Hall of Elite Players? That's a debate for another show. But I would look at guys like that who've made huge shots in games. And this is just my opening statement. You can go after this, okay? Like Tyrese Halliburton has not shot, and I knew this off the top of my head just from watching, and I had to confirm it. He hasn't shot a free throw yet in this series, in those 2 games, right? Like, I think that's right.
Yeah, I never said he's SGA.
Well, but you say he's a superstar.
He is. I think he's the 5th best player in the NBA.
Oh, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this now.
We can take it tomorrow. We have to. Listen,
no. We got time.
Listen,
we got time.
Give me. I'm not even.
And don't be Stephen A. Smith on this. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire.
I'm going to quote Stephen A.
Smith. I'm
going to quote Stephen A. Smith in a second. But
if he's the 5th best player, I want to hear all 4 before him.
I've got him. I know exactly. And I talked with Shahan Jayaraja about this. Our friend at CBS Sports. We've had this discussion.
See, now you're flexing.
It's on Twitter.
It's on Twitter.
Anybody can go see it. It's on Twitter. He and I went back and forth on this. Okay. First, I cannot believe you just compared Tyrese Halliburton to Robert Horry. That's really embarrassing.
What?
Tyrese Halliburton just was 3rd team All-NBA. He was on the Olympic basketball team, even though he was injured. Like, those dudes are not in the same stratosphere. All respect to Robert Horry, not in the same stratosphere. Robert Horry was not engineering the best team offense in the NBA. Tyrese Halliburton is. I don't like that in basketball culture, we eviscerate players for making the basketball play that I was taught was the smart play. I was taught growing up, and maybe this is old school, or maybe it's because I'm a short white kid. I was taught growing up, you take the shot when you're open, but if not, you find the best pass.
That's for TJ McConnell. That's not for Tyrese Halliburton. That rule.
Wait, so you reach a certain level of being good, and you're not supposed to pass the ball anymore?
No, but you're supposed to be more aggressive, which is what he has lacked.
Wait, question. Who are like the 3 best passers in the NBA besides Tyrese Halliburton right now?
LeBron's amazing.
That's 1.
Yeah, Luka.
That's 2.
Yeah.
Who's 3?
I guess you say Tyrese, right?
Jokic.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
We don't eviscerate any of them for being so good at passing the basketball, but we hold it against Tyrese for leading the NBA in assists.
That's different, but there is, and that brings me to a point that I was
John Stockton a superstar?
Was bubbling up. Yes. John Stockton was a superstar. He if Karl Malone was better, they would have won a title. Karl Malone is extremely overrated. Don't get me started. I really believe that. So Zach Burke comes in, and I know he's got a take on this Karl Malone thing, but I don't have time to get to him right now. We'll have to talk to him later about that. But I think when you become a superstar, right? And again, we're getting a little like first takey, hot takey here. I think you have the know-how, right? I think you know when it's time to make the extra pass and when it's time, whether it's the first quarter or the last 5 seconds, because we saw Michael Jordan defer certain times, and it worked out. And even if it didn't, or if it didn't, we might be talking differently. But it did work out. We're talking about finding John Paxson late in games, right? Stuff like that.
Steve Kerr
hitting that shot against Utah. Great call. So I think if you're a superstar, you know when to defer and you know when to take over. Tyrese Halliburton has not found that gear yet in these first 2 games in the NBA Finals. You can actually throw out game 1 because they won. And if you win and he hits a game winner, okay, I'll give you that. So I'm throwing that out. But it has.
Let me argue against Tyrese Halliburton by throwing out the thing that he accomplished in the NBA playoffs that only has been accomplished previously by Michael freaking Jordan.
I'm throwing that out because I'm saying it helps your argument, not mine.
Of course it does.
So forget that. But even in game 2, he had 5 points over the first 3 quarters and 12 in the fourth. That can happen, dude.
I agree.
And if your team keeps getting down by 15 points and you're the star of that team, at some point,
Listen,
you've got to answer to that.
And maybe what we can do, I'm not joking because I was not prepared for this and we didn't have super
You're not
long to
prepared.
discuss.
I told you about this yesterday.
No. Here's what we can do if you want. Let's go find all the times Kobe Bryant scored low in the playoffs. Let's find all the times LeBron had a bad game. Let's find we eviscerate him for having a poor game.
But you can't.
The dude is. This is what I heard Stephen A. Smith say today. This is and by the way, he's on your side in this. But then he said this, and I'm like, what more do you want from a kid? Okay, he said in these playoffs, shots with under 15 seconds to go when you're within tying or taking the lead distance. Halliburton is 5 for 5.
Yes.
The rest of the NBA players are 6 for 24.
Okay. And
that is not luck. That is not chance. That is not coincidence. That is ice in your veins, clutch for real.
Yes, but it's been and again, it's been a body of work that has been small, right? That we have to work with Tyrese Halliburton. When you take of course LeBron has had a couple eggs he's laid. Of course Kobe has.
Okay,
Michael really has, which is why he's so magnificent.
Let me give you the statistics.
Wiped everybody out in 6 games or less.
The most game-winning or game-tying, buzzer-beating playoff shots that anyone has hit since 1997 is LeBron James.
Okay, because he's played a shitload.
Okay, this helps me. He's hit 8.
And
he's
Tyrese
played
has
a
hit
crap.
5.
He's hit a crap ton. And Tyrese hit 4. One of those 5 was under 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It was not the buzzer beater. He's hit 4. He has gotten half of LeBron's in one playoff run, and you were arguing that he's got to take it to the.
He's got to take it to the finish line. He's got to take it to the.
We've
finish
got
line.
5 games left.
We'll find it. We could only have 3. That's my point.
Ugh.
We will see, and this is why all this stuff. And it is a blast doing this.
It is
especially
a blast.
with somebody as knowledgeable as you.
This is a blast.
But this is why all this stuff, and I'm not trying to make you not watch anymore because we appreciate it. But they play the games for a reason.
That's right.
Like we're gonna find out. We are, and that's the best part about sports. We will find out here over the course of the next 2 weeks. The way the NBA goes, I feel like it's going to be a month till the series ends. But whatever.
Let's just acknowledge. If the Indiana Pacers win this series.
Yes, he's a superstar. No question.
It will be because of Tyrese Halliburton.
Yes.
And he is defeating the league MVP and the number 1 team in the league.
There's no question.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also just want to say, because you asked earlier, and I'll back it up. My top 5 in the NBA, in no particular order, the top 4 to me are a wide gap ahead of everybody else. It's Luka, it's Jokic, it's Giannis, it's SGA. Those 4, I would take Tyrese next.
Who's 6?
Probably Anthony Edwards.
Okay. That's a pretty legit list.
Thank you. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Because even if you're talking about LeBron and KD, it's all fun and exciting, but
I think LeBron's still top 10-ish.
Yeah.
Like, but what Shahan said on Twitter as we were going back and forth on this, I think is really good, is he agreed with me. He said, yeah, I think those top 4 are a wide gap ahead of anyone else. He goes, but what's fun about the NBA right now is there's about a 5 through 16 who are all really close.
Mm-hmm.
Brunson's in that category.
Brunson.
Jason Tatum when healthy in that category. Like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say Tatum is better.
That was
better
Shahan's
than
initial response
Tyrese.
as well, actually.
Yeah. I think you'd have to say that. And you make
wait. So
come on in, Mike. We're not.
This
we're
is
not
actually
done
a fascinating discussion, Pete, about what you value in a basketball player.
Yeah.
Okay. and I'm going to piss Cam Stewart off. Jason Tatum, yes, better scorer than Tyrese, better numbers over his career than Tyrese, longer career so far than Tyrese. He has an NBA ring. Like, all love to him.
Yeah.
What does everybody crap on Jason Tatum for?
Not being aggressive
Shrinking
enough?
in the clutch?
Yeah, yeah.
And what does Tyrese do? It's
yeah.
what do you want, right? I want the guy who leads the league in assist, engineers the best team offense in the NBA. Just, by the way, was the first player in NBA history to go 35, 15, and 10 with no turnovers in the postseason, and is 4 for 4 on game-winning shots this postseason.
All right,
That's who I want.
We're going to find out.
That's who I want.
All right, there you go. We are.
Let me write the movie.
Yeah, no, well, the movie's writing itself, and that's something you posted about. Look, make sure you go on to the Pete Sousa Show page. Watch all the stuff that we've put up here. Scotty and I work hard on this. Again, like I would tell Scotty to stop getting into Twitter wars and focus on his job if he wasn't kicking ass at his job, but he is. Because every time you turn around, he's in another fight with Shahan Jayaraja or Matt Mosley.
No. I want to be clear.
At 2 in the morning. Him and Mosley are going back on tweets at like 2 a.m.
I want to be clear. I was fighting with you just now. Shahan and I were having a civil conversation.
Yeah, well, what about you and Mosley? I mean, you and
Mosley's just taking. No,
you and Mosley are arguing over like the third best running back in 2006 for the Baylor Bears football team.
Mosley's just picking on me, man. And he's allowed to do that. That's
I
cool.
think Mosley likes you, which is kind of cool.
I like him too.
We love Matt Mosley. All right, that's it. We're going to wrap it up here on the Pete Sousa Show. We are back tomorrow. By the way, Jana Van Geitenbeek, Baylor women's basketball player, going to join us again tomorrow. We're going to catch up with her, find out what's going on with her offseason. I want her to weigh in a little bit about women's basketball and some of the rivalries out there, how she feels about them. Jana is more of a person to talk to. She's not like a sports analyst expert. That's not what she would say, but she certainly is a card-carrying member, is one of the best women's basketball players on the planet. So we want to talk to her about this stuff, as she's got one more year left at Baylor. And is coming back from a knee injury. So we'll get personal professional with her. And we'll be back tomorrow with more compelling content. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics. We'll see you.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me, and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.